So again, I am Thea Kelly. I am a local corporate lawyer, and I've been associated with this event for over a decade now. I've had the pleasure of introducing celebrity speakers, writers, and this is the first time I am introducing a mother. There's a mother like just you and me, whose son was tragically taken from her in February 2012. His death sparked our consciousness of, unfortunately, what's still going on, but the violence against us, and particularly our boys. Sybrina, God, I'm still shaking. She didn't ask to be a part of the Mother Circle, and that's the group of women who, like Sybrina Fulton, have lost her son to tragedy, but that's who she is now. She has dedicated her life to transforming her tragedy into social change. Since the death of her son at 17 years of age, Trayvon Martin, she has become an inspiring spokesperson. I have just a brief bio, but I'm gonna read it because I don't want to get anything wrong. It's really important. Inspiring for parents and concerned citizens across the country. She has co-authored a book, which is outside in our foyer, and she'll be available for signing afterwards, entitled Rest in Power, The Enduring Life of Trayvon Martin. It shares an intimate story of a tragically foreshortened life and the rise of a movement for a nation's conscience. Shaking like me, please join me in welcoming Ms. Sybrina Fulton.
Good afternoon. No, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes. Like I told the audience yesterday, I feed off of your energy, okay? So if you all knotted up like this, it's gonna make me do the same thing, okay? My name is Sybrina Fulton, and I am happy to be in Indianapolis. It's very cold here for me because I live in Florida. I'm a sunshine girl. But it's just a pleasure to be here. I receive a very warm welcome from the staff of the library, and it's just an honor to be here to speak with you all. So let's start at the beginning. Who am I? Sybrina Fulton, the mother of Trayvon Martin and also Javaris Fulton. I have an older son, Javaris. Trayvon was my baby. So I'm just gonna walk you through my journey. I don't have a teleprompter, I don't have notes written in my hands. I'm just speaking to you from my heart. And I just wanna talk to you a minute. Don't look at this as being a lecture, because it's not. I'm telling you about my journey. I'm telling you about my life. I'm telling you about what I experienced firsthand. You don't have to listen to the news. You're getting it from the horse's mouth. So if I'm saying something and you understand what I'm saying, please just nod your head so I know that you understand. So I'm from Miami, Florida, like I said. I work for the housing agency. Well, I used to work for the housing agency for low-income and no-income residents. So I worked for Miami-Dade County for about 24 years, roughly 24, 25 years. I was planning to retire at 30 years. I didn't make it. So Trayvon went off for the weekend with his dad to Sanford, Florida, which was about 3 hours from Miami. And if anybody is recording, I'm gonna ask you to stop, please. I see a couple of cameras up. You could take pictures, but don't record, please. So that was the worst day of my life. That wasn't the day that I started speaking. That wasn't the day I became passionate about gun violence. That wasn't the day I decided to start talking to mothers. That wasn't the day I could even do anything for myself. And most of it I don't even remember. I can't tell you if a person was there or if they were not there. I don't remember. So that has been a traumatic point in my life. It's not a story for me. A lot of people call these stories. It's not a story, because a story has a beginning and an ending. There's no ending for me. I live with this every day. I carry this every day. My heart hurts every day. Just imagine your 17-year-old unarmed being shot and killed. Don't just look at my son. Don't just look at the color of his skin. Because we see what's happening in America. It's not just African Americans. It's not just gay people. It's not just Muslims. It's not just Asians. Not only can you be killed because of the color of your skin, your religion, your sexual orientation, anything. We've come to a country where anything could happen. And the person may or may not go to jail. And the person may or may not be arrested. And the person may or may not be convicted. That's the country we live in. We live in a country where you have people that's driving down the street and they'll see a homeless person and they'll keep riding. They'll see an animal on the street and they'll pull over and help the animal before they help another human being. I don't know how we got to a country with so much hatred in our hearts. I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we can get out of this hole that we are in, where everybody is getting a gun and shooting everybody because of whatever reason they don't like them. But I can tell you about my son, who was unarmed at 17. I can tell you that even though Trayvon had on a hoodie, and how many of y'all young people wear hoodies? Raise your hand. Look around the room. So it wasn't about his hoodie. It was about the color of his skin. And I stand before you today and I can tell you that I can take this hoodie off. I could take my boots off, my pants off, my earrings off, but I can't take off the color of my skin. And so I said to you, how did we get to this place? How did we get to a country that's filled with so much hate for each other? Based on what we think in our own minds, that's where it starts. And we have to start changing that. We have to start changing our mindset. We have to start changing how we feel about other people. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't like frogs. I don't like frogs. But if I see one, I'm not going to kill it. I'm not going to chop off the arms or legs or shoot it or stab it or hit it with a stick just because I don't like it. You know, you just have to start thinking about these things. And I know many of you, when you first heard these cases that went on with people being shot and killed and nobody was held accountable, you thought it was something else to it. You thought some African Americans or people of color were just complaining. You ain't gonna say yes, but I know it. But it's okay. Now you're woke and you understand and you watching the news And now you want to do something about it because now you feel that it's unfair. So let me talk for one brief moment about Kyle Rittenhouse. Just for a moment. Okay, do you guys realize that the people that he shot and killed were not African Americans? So I just told a group yesterday that if you are not a person of color, then you're safe. Right? I said that yesterday. Now I'm going to come back today and revise that. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. If you can take a gun, go cross state line as a minor and go kill 2 people, what about those families? Think about that. Yeah, and his mom took him. Think about that for 1 second. How would you feel if those 2 guys that were killed and the one that was wounded, how would you feel if that was your family? Would you think differently about him being innocent or guilty? Think about it. Think about the cases you've seen where people have been shot in the back, running away. How in the world can you feel threatened if the person is fleeing you? How? So let me just briefly tell y'all about the circle that I run in right now. I run with Hadia Pendleton's mom, Oscar Grant's mom, Eric Garner's mom, Jordan Davis' mom. I have an event called A Circle of Mothers, a program that I do in Miami. We bring mothers together who are victims of senseless gun violence, and now it's broadened that I have people who just lost a child, and you need somebody to connect to. It's the Circle of Mothers. We bond, we heal. You don't have to believe me, because I'm going to give you the website and you can see for yourself. When people tell you things, you want to listen to it, and then you want to go do your research. So I'm going to give you your research. It's Trayvon Martin Foundation.org. It's called Circle of Mothers. And I've had Mike Brown. I've had Tamar Rice. All of those high-profile families that you read about or you've seen on the news, they come to the Circle of Mothers, and that's where we bond. It's about empowering each other. It's about moving to the next step. So what did I do when I moved to the next step? So let me back up a second and tell y'all some ugly parts. One of the ugly parts was that I could not have prepared for this. I could not have taken public speaking. I could not have groomed myself and taken a course in grieving parents or any of those things. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the reason why I stand before you today is through God's grace and mercy. There is no other reason. There is no magic potion. I'm not Wonder Woman, even though I call myself Wonder Woman. I'm not Wonder Woman. It's God. That's the only thing that kept me. If you think about losing a child, you will lose your mind. Just thinking about if something happened to one of your children. It's so unnatural for you to bury your child as opposed to your child burying you. It's unnatural. It feels like something is not right. It feels like it's not supposed to happen. And so I'm no different than any other mother. All the mothers that I called out, they're experiencing the same pain, the same hurt. I've just been given a platform to talk to you about it, and I'm able to talk to you. Because I do meet some moms and they can't talk. All they can do is cry. All they can do is pray. All they can do is get on their knees But I can tell you and I can express to you how I feel. And when I'm afraid to talk, I tell you, I'm afraid today, you guys. I'm teary-eyed today. I'm scared today. I'm worried today. Whatever it is, I'm able to say it. That's God. That's not me. And so when I tell people that I'm an average mom, the reason why I say that is because in Miami, I work for the housing agency. I had an average job with an average house and an average car, and I have a bachelor's degree. And I push my boys to do a little better than I did. So if I have a bachelor's degree, they have to have a PhD. If I have one house, they have to have two houses. If I have one car, they have to have two cars. If I have $10,000 in the bank, they have to have $20,000 in the bank. Because we all want to push our children to do a little better than what we've done. We want to teach our children to be better than the last generation. Is that correct? Yes. But we can't do it at the rate that we're going. We can't do it without inspiring our kids, without trying to instill something positive in our kids. Because this killing that's going on, it's time out for all of that. It really is. It's so many parents and so many families that have been affected by this. And I'm going to take Trayvon, and I'm going to tell you about my family, my mom and my dad and my brothers and my sister and just my family. And his aunts and uncles and cousins. It affected all of them. His friends and his classmates and people we went to church with. It affected all of them. Yeah. Yeah. So when they take out one person, it's not just one person. It's a community of people who are attached to him that love him. Yeah. And people don't understand that. And a lot of times as an African-American woman, they expect us to be strong. I wasn't always strong. Can I tell y'all about it? So, and my sister knows this firsthand. When this first happened with Trayvon, my room is purple because purple is my favorite color. Red is my second. Ooh. And I would sit in my purple room, and I would just sit on the floor like in the corner, and I would just cry. I would just cry. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to be around people because the person that I was, 95, say 95. 95% of the time I was happy. And I found myself on a street that I had never been on. A street of sadness and depression. I've never been suicidal. I never wanted to kill myself. But it hurt a great deal. And I had to live with it, and I truly believed that I would never be happy again. That I never would smile again. That I never would want to be around people, that I would never have joy again. I believed that. And so I sat in my room on the floor. Did not want to comb my hair, brush my teeth, take a shower, put on clothes. I'm telling you who I am. I'm opening myself up to you to let you know I haven't always been strong. And so, how did I get past that? I started praying. And I asked God for strength. Be careful what you ask for. And I would look in the mirror and I would ask God, please make me strong. Because I watched the news and you all told me that I was strong. But I didn't feel strong because how I felt did not align with how I felt on the inside. My outside looked a certain way, right? Because look all fixed up, right? But that's not how I felt on the inside because I was hurting. Something very valuable was taken away from me. And I didn't know how to get back. So I would look in this mirror and I would say, I'm strong, and then tears just come down. Then I go back the next day and I pray again and I ask God, I want to be strong. And I would look in the mirror again and tears again coming down. How many of you know that one day when I looked in that mirror and I told God that I was strong, so I became. So I became. So a lot of times we're asking for different things. You have to be careful what you ask for, because he made me strong, and then when he gave me the strength, he gave me the assignment to talk to people in groups like you. And so I feel obligated that that's what I have to do. I have to share my story, the ugly side, the bitter side, the cute side, the funny side, the sad side, the disappointment side, all of that. I have to talk about those things because that's what I experienced. That's what I live. I don't have bad days every day. I have good days. I have a lot of good days. I have a strong family. I have strong friends. I have strong people around me to help lift me up. But there's always a but. When I do have my bad days, I kind of stay home. I kind of stay home and cry because I understand that this is my rainy day. This is my sad day. And I stay home and I cry. I might watch movies. I might eat ice cream. I might go to the beach. That's what I do to try to bring myself back to some kind of level of happiness, some kind of level of joy. Because losing a child is nothing that I can express to you unless you're there. You really don't understand. Even though I'm talking about losing a child, you really don't understand unless you're there. Maybe the moms know a little bit about what I'm talking about when I said that it feels like you carry your child for 9 months and then your heart is walking outside your body. Moms, just nod your head so I know it's not just me. Yes. But it's a pain that I deal with, and that's the reason why I'm so passionate about helping this country, not just my community, but this country make a difference, make a change. And so we started off with the Trayvon Martin Foundation. And I want you all, when you get a chance, it doesn't have to be now, sometime later, go back and look at some of the work that we're doing at the Trayvon Martin Foundation. Like I said, it's TrayvonMartinFoundation.org. We have these hoodies, and we have other merchandise that's on there that supports the foundation. What Cordia has on one of the hoodies right here. We have masks, we have t-shirts, all kind of things, or you can just make a donation if you want to continue to help this fight. Let's see. So after we created the foundation through the advice of our attorneys, we wrote a book. So I do have a book. I don't know if some of you guys purchased the book? Yes. Okay. So some of you guys purchased the book. I'm going to try to get around and sign those books. We're going to have a book signing. And it talks about Tracy and my voice and Tracy's voice in the book. So it's alternating chapters. And we talk about what we experience in the courtroom, going to court, and just who Trayvon Martin was from a parent's point of view. So you probably heard what the newscasters had to say and all kind of commentaries, and now you'll hear what the parents have to say through the book. And then we also had a docuseries. It came out, I think, in 2018, and it was based off the book. Jay-Z was our executive producer. And it's a 6-part series. It's very powerful, but it's very painful to watch because it's the truth. So that's it for me. I appreciate you guys listening to what I have to say. And I'm gonna take, we're gonna do questions. I'm gonna take a few questions.
So we'll take a few questions. We have time. Let's say about 5 minutes worth of questions.
Okay, so what you can do if you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll recognize you and just tell me your name and just give me your question. If you have a statement, just hold it for later, but I really want to hear the questions. Yes, ma'am. I probably wouldn't go so much into the cases because they probably are not going to understand. If they're really little, they're not going to understand. But I would teach them about how you treat another human being, which is way more powerful than just talking about just cases. So if you can do some type of exercise where they have to treat each other in a fair manner. You can't just be mean and nasty to people, and just teach them, instill in that when they're young, and then they'll grow up and they'll still have it. As opposed to talking about specific cases, that's really hard for adults, so I know it's really hard for kids. But thank you for your question. So first of all, I'm going to tell you that I'm not an attorney first. And so my understanding of the Stand Your Ground law is for you to be able to protect yourself and your property. And it was derived from the Castle Doctrine. And I don't know about any place else, but I'm going to take a stab at this and say that it's not applied the same way to all people. So that's the best I could do as a parent, and because I'm not an attorney is right here, and she probably could tell you the correct language, but it is a law. But the thing about it is, it's not applied fairly to all people. So it makes it an unfair, a biased law that is on the books in most states. Thank you. Those moms know firsthand what I was talking about. Other people who we try to, reenact, or we try to tell our tragedies to, they don't quite get it. But when I say she understands, she actually understands. When I say she understands, she understands. Like it's just an unspoken language. And the pain is the same. I don't even have to know what happened to your son or daughter. It's the same pain. I would tell them to keep fighting. Don't give up. It looks, you got to look past what you see in front of you, if that makes sense. Like a lot of times, we look out the window and we see that it's raining outside and we think the whole day is gone. Just remember the sun is coming out again. Just remember joy comes in the morning. Just remember that whatever you want to do, it's best to organize and get in groups and do it, and you'll have more power behind whatever you're doing. That's my advice to the moms that's there, because you have to heal yourself first. Are you practicing self-care? Yes, yes, yes. I practice self-care. So I told y'all about my bad days, but my good days are awfully good. I'm from Miami. A lot of beaches there, a lot of things to do there, a lot of seafood and those things, and I treat myself really good. And you should, and you should.
All right, okay, just one more, and so we can get you.
What I would tell anybody who asks me that question, Mark, I don't deal with people like that. That's how I deal with them. Whenever he does something, it's usually so he can get a reaction. But you can't push my buttons. You can't force me to speak. You can't force me to make a comment. You can't force me to make a statement. I give him no energy. Thank you. We got any more?
Can y'all help me appreciate Sybrina Fulton?
Thank you. Thank you.